Welcome, Army fans. This is Joe Iacono with GoBlackKnights.com, along with Army starting center Brady Small. It's Navy week. We are 4 days out from kickoff of the biggest game of the year. Brady, how was practice today? I guess first of all, how's the offensive line looking?
Yeah, practice was good, and basically working all the fundamentals we need for this week. Obviously, a big rivalry week, but we're excited. So,
And the offensive line, I know you guys don't like to talk about your accolades and everything, but you guys are finalists for the Joe Moore Award for the best offensive line in the country. Friday night in the conference championship game against Tulane, put on what a lot of people thought was maybe your best performance of the year, rushing for over 335 yards as a team. Army had 200-yard rushers. What's allowed the mob to stay so consistent this year in terms of your performance?
yeah, I would say definitely starts with Coach Viti. He does a great job for us, establishing the culture and instilling what we need to do each week as an offensive line to be successful. And up to this point, it's been working, and having that connection with everybody on the line, playing with most of them last year, um, has allowed me just to, kind of have that chemistry, and it's fun playing with them.
And you mentioned Coach Beatty, who's been phenomenal, of course, and Army's other offensive line coach, Matt Drinkle, of course, was just announced as the head coach at Central Michigan. What I don't know if he had a chance to talk to the offensive line or the team at all, but kind of, how is everybody treating this? Is it a little bit of a distraction, or are you guys more focused to maybe try and send Coach Drinkle out on a winning note? We have heard he is going to coach the Army Navy game. I'm not sure if that's accurate or not, but
Yeah, I love Coach Drinkle. He recruited me. He's the one of the main reasons I came here. And I'm super excited for him, the opportunity he has going to be a head coach at Central Michigan. Well deserved. Obviously, he's a great coach. Does a great job with us, and just being able to play one last game with him is going to be special. I know all the guys are going to miss him, and but yeah, I mean, both of them have done an outstanding job this year with getting us prepared for each game and establishing that dominance that we need to have on the offensive line.
and with Coach Beatty specifically, what's that relationship like having a guy who was just the absolute stud officer in the U.S. Army, grad, former Army football player? How nice is it to have a coach who kind of has gone through the same experience that you guys are going
Yeah,
through?
it's awesome. He understands what we go through on a day-to-day basis, and just being able to be in the same room with him every single day. He's one of the best leaders I've ever been around, and getting to learn from both Coach Viti and Coach Drinkle. I'm able to pick up different leadership skills and kind of allow them into my own leadership qualities. So it's a blessing to have both of them in the room. Sad to see Coach Drink go, but he's got to do what's best for him, and we all completely understand, and we're happy for him.
Absolutely. And against Tulane, PFF had you graded out as the highest offensive lineman in the game. Actually, the number one offensive player for Army. Not sure if you were aware of that or not, but anyway, really good grade in that game against a really talented defensive line, a really talented nose tackle. What do you think was going so well for you in the Tulane game?
Coach Worley putting trust in the offensive line to just go right after him, um, and that's awesome being able to be a top offensive lineman. But that's a credit to both my guards, Paolo Gennarelli and Bill Katsianis, and then our two studs at tackle, Lucas Scott and Connor Finucane. I mean, we work great as a unit, and all the individual accolades are cool and all, but it's a credit to the whole offensive line. Same thing with the Joe Moore Award and things like that. So we don't really look into the awards, especially the individual awards, that much. We're kind of just focusing on Navy, and we're excited to play one of the last games with the senior class. So
Awesome. And when it comes to Navy, they obviously know our offense really well. We haven't had a ton of offensive productivity against them the last 4 or 5 years since Coach Newberry's been on their staff, actually. Um, What do you kind of, what is the off, not just you, but what does the whole offensive line kind of need to be ready for? I mean, it seems like in these academy games, the defense is always just like a step ahead because they know what's coming and they're able to get to the ball maybe a little faster than any other team you play because of the preparation.
Yeah, they've had a lot of time to prepare for us, which is fine. We're just going to control what we can control. Take it one play at a time, and they move a lot on the defensive line. So just being able to recognize the ID the fronts and pick up movement, that's going to be the big factor for this game. So, but we're excited for the challenge, and like I said, being able to play in the last Army Navy game with the senior class is going to be special.
Yeah, so my final question for you, Brady, kind of hits on that. Let's talk about, the senior class and you guys, if I'm not mistaken, you have three senior starters on the offensive line in Finucane and Lucas Scott.
Yeah,
And
Catsianis.
thank you. Help me out. I can never remember if he's a cow or a firstie. Okay, so yeah, three starters on the O line, and this will be their last, other than the bowl game, their last game at Army, their last Army Navy game. They've had a historic season already with the conference championship, 11 wins. But what would it mean to send them out with their second straight Commanders in Chiefs trophy and as well as a win over Navy in their last regular season game?
It's everything. This is the game we prepare for 365 days a year. Um, this game's everything for the academies. It's very personal, and we're just excited to have that opportunity to be able to play against these guys. And, it's going to be a good matchup. But like I said, we're super excited and can't wait for the challenge.
Good stuff. And I said that was going to be my last question, but I lied. I have one more kind of fun question for you.
Yeah.
Your family's been great supporters. They've kind of become a fixture at Army games. Your mom is a very vocal supporter as well as the rest of your family. Who's all coming from the Small family down to DC for the game?
Yeah, my mom, my dad, my brother, my two grandparents, um, uncle, and my two aunts. So,
Awesome.
yeah,
Good. Have a good contingent. All right, Brady, thank you very much. Go Army, beat Navy.
you Navy.